Hello everybody, welcome to Zelda Speedruns, broadcasting the Elite to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup 2023. We got Group H for you today. It's Soyhr versus OvidiusNaso. Commentating for us, we have Secretly a Sliver and Sorcerer Finch, and tracking is Aku Heish. Say hello everybody.
Hello, and how are y'all doing?
Hello, I am Secretly a Sliver with my buddy Finch, and we're gonna see some pretty good racing today.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a McBoss where the maps, compasses, and dungeon bosses are going to be shuffled throughout Hyrule. So it should be a pretty interesting mode. It's a newer one to the overall community, but it's one that's been pretty popular as of late.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these happen between main tournament and challenge cup. So maps and compasses normally don't have much functionality in the normal game, but in this in particular, the map will tell you if a dungeon is a crystal or a pendant, and the compass will show which boss is at the end of the dungeon. So they are a little more useful than normal.
Right, and this matchup in Group H of the Challenge Cup also does have group implications. This is Sawyer's final race, currently 3-2. Ovidius is currently 2-1. Still has 2 matches after this one. But there's still a lot to kind of go in this particular races. We get some immediate divergence here.
Yeah, can you explain the route that Ovidius is taking here?
Sure. So Ovidius is basically looking to farm up some bombs here. There are two 50-50 bushes here. Kind of gets caught by that guard there. And 4 bombs will be plenty for this opening area. Just a piece of heart on Uncle. Something a little bit morbid about that. But yeah, just try to pull a couple bombs right there and get into Kakariko Village as quickly as possible.
So Soyhr killing those 2 guards to set up a tier 2 or 3 tree pull. I believe he took damage, so that will be a tier 2.
Yep, and not a whole lot to write home about there. But meanwhile, we've got Ovidius going into Kakariko Village from the south. Now, we have not gotten a map check yet from our racers to let us know which dungeons are crystals, which ones are pendants.
We don't have any. Well, we don't have any maps yet, Finch.
Yep, we do need those. So that is the map part of the MC boss shuffle. Compasses, though, have a little bit more of usability, let's say. Where once you get the compass, not only do you get to see how many chests you've opened, but you also get to see who the dungeon boss is for that area.
So we did see a glove on the library ledge, which probably means that boots are coming sooner rather than later.
Yep, and all right, we get our first shield, and Bush Crab dropping some bombs there, so that will give a little bit of a bomb advantage right now for Soyhr, but Ovidius is already kind of zooming through Kakariko Village.
Yeah, Soyhr trying to set up for the aforementioned tree pool, which can have some money on it. Money grows on trees sometimes in Randomizer. So what he's going to do after he collects this item is pull the tree to the left there, and it will give him 4 of something. Can be anything that monsters usually drop.
Meanwhile, getting Blind's Hut. So far, hadn't really been too much to write home about. Just that shield so far has been the only real trackable item so far, but we also do now have enough cash, and hey, we'll take the heart container while we're at it.
Yeah, the cash is nice to get because you need 100 rupees for the vendor item. Sawyer's going to be a little cash poor, but we'll get some a little further down.
Yeah, this should put Soyhr. Probably we'll just have to dip into redo the well again, Kakariko well there.
Well, there's 50 rupees in blind set, so it should be good on cash for now.
Yep, and also with the full complement of what will be about 10 bombs, so. And that is not the tree pool we were hoping for. Right, and Ovidius taking a little bit of a roundabout way to grab that. Let's see, with 8 bombs, Sliver, which way are you going from here?
Even with only 8 bombs, I think the South Shore play is definitely a way that I'm looking at. Just for item density, and you don't really have much in the way of like things to point you where to go, so might as well just grab those 5 items out of Mini Moldorm Cave.
That's true. I do like Ovidius's route here. OvidiusNaso is setting up for Houlihan, puts him in a little bit better of a position if we do find Zora money to do that. But could you talk to us a little bit about what Houlihan is?
So the Houlihan room is a debug room. Whenever the game doesn't know where to put Link, it will put him in the Houlihan room. By entering that cave and exiting and jumping off the cliff like that, Ovidius scrolls the camera down and respawns in a spot where the camera is essentially unlocked. So when he falls in the hole, the room below him that he's supposed to fall into is not fully loaded from the game, so it puts him in the Houlihan room.
Yep, and then it also does automatically spit you out at Link's house, so it does also. Whoops, kind of. Yeah, about to say we can still recover and make one check here over on Ovidius' side. And there's the 20 rupees over on Soyr's side after doing the race game without checking what the item was. Which honestly does make sense. I mean, because there really hasn't been too much, so there's higher odds that there is something actually good there.
Yes, you did see that right. There is a glove on the library ledge.
And that moon pearl in the dam, so gonna need that.
Okay, Ovidius electing to do Mini Moldorm Cave and the dam together, which kind of strands our buddy Agina all the way over on the west side of the map. Let's see if Soyhr pays him a visit.
All right, and now for one of the tougher kind of spots there. Very well done by Ovidius, using a minimal number of bombs, and we almost have Zora money. I mean, sure, it's out of logic. Oh, and that cape, we're looking at maybe Aghanim at this point, once we get a sword and lamp.
Yeah, it's certainly possible to do aggro rooms in the dark, but as Blind tells us sometimes, aggro dark rooms are not a very bright idea.
Blind really would make for a great comedian, honestly. All right, but we will see here momentarily which direction. And Ovidius trying to farm up for a couple more rupees there. Does have to be careful. Can take one hit, but each of the crabs will do 2 hearts damage there.
And we get Compass for Desert Palace from Agina. So definitely a useful item, but not one that will be earth-shattering.
Ooh, and there is a flute. That unlocks. Well, it doesn't unlock a whole lot. It does get you Spectacle Rock, as well as Old Man Out of Logic. So, um, definitely probably going to be required anyway, and definitely nice for quick movement, as Ovidius is immediately going to turn that in. Yeah, we're down to what? Eastern area, escape. And escape will probably be the last thing that our racers check before doing AGA, assuming that we get the items required for Aghanim access.
Okay, so you're making the smart decision to farm up some bombs from the crab before coming in to Mini Moldarm Cave. Those Moldarm patterns are a little unpredictable sometimes, so never a bad idea to just fill up on bombs.
Yep, and actually with that flute, Ovidius now has a lot nicer access to Agina. Now, Agina wasn't anything. I think it was just a compass.
There's a compass to Desert Palace, which, we can't really get into. It's a surprise tool that we'll use later.
Oh, and Soyhr is definitely in a little bit more of a pickle here. Does escape very nicely. Well done.
And Soyhr also opting to save and quit after finding that flute. No fake flippering as of yet. And it looks like Ovidius is going to say, forget Eastern Palace, we're going up to a different dungeon. Going up to do the escape sequence.
And especially considering Ovidius hadn't checked Uncle before, this does make some more sense from a density perspective. Soyhr, I could see going more towards Eastern. And to answer a question in chat, that is correct. Bombs are currently the weaponry that we have right now.
Yes, but the randomizer does expect you to be able to navigate escape with only bombs and no other weapons, so this is in logic.
All right, and actually Soyhr is going to go ahead and set up a fake flipper here.
So how does he get to swim without the flippers, Finch?
Well, as I understand it, basically, oh, that was kind of interesting. By transitioning the screen as you jump in, basically, in Link to the Past, the splash is what the game checks for if you actually have the flippers. So if you never splash, the game never actually checks to make sure that you have the flippers and can swim. It does have a couple consequences, because if you get hit while you're in the water, Link will kind of start and will cause a splash, and then the game doesn't quite know where to put you.
Yes, and it will not. That is not one of the things that will send you to the Houlihan room. That will soft lock your game.
Right, and our racers would very much like to not be soft locked. 3 bombs in that first chest for the first key guard there, over on Ovidius' side, and just a heart container on Lake Hylia Island.
And since we found the small key in the sanctuary chest, that's what puts these downstairs checks into logic. So everything, we're not breaking logic here. We're trying to follow where it's trying to send us and hoping that we're right.
Yep. And now for one of the trickier. There we go. Got the blue guard kind of caught up there.
So, on the other hand, what Soyhr is doing, the fake flippering and water walking, is not in logic. So he is trying to get ahead of things and maybe try to narrow down where something else may be, depending on what he finds out of logic.
Right. Now, not really a whole lot. That didn't really pay out there. And the good news is it looks like it's just armor on Zora Ledge. It's nice, but it is not required.
Okay, Soyhr going to Spectacle Rock Cave to get that check out of the way. Doesn't look like he wants to save the old man at this point.
And I can also understand that, because without a sword, it's much easier to get lost in the dark. It at this level. Oh, then there's a hammer. So, where's that mirror?
Well, Soyhr does like to say that knowledge is power, and knowing that that hammer is up there may give him a slight advantage over someone who doesn't check that.
That is correct. So yeah, Soyhr will be incentivized to come back and take care of that. But meanwhile, green pendant in Tower of Hera. Ooh, okay. So there's our first little bit of pendant crystal information.
Alright, we are flush with cash now, and a fire rod back in Sahasrah's closet.
Yeah, that's we're gonna need that fire rod, so that's good to have. But and now we do have Zora money, but Zora is still not in logic without a glove or flippers.
And Soyhr is sort of decentivized to go back there because that's the only check in that area that he doesn't know about. He already got the info on the other thing, so if something's at Zora, he may end up just last locating it.
Yeah, but meanwhile, our racers are both going into Eastern Palace. And yeah, that is true. The back of escape is now in logic with that fire rod. Don't miss that fire shot. Ooh, and there's a mirror. So now that hammer's in play, Soyhr knows about the hammer in play.
Yoki 1981 calling back to our race almost a year ago where we had Pyramid Fairy Hammer.
Ew. But yeah, like I can see Soyhr going back up, picking up that hammer, because then Soyhr is just looking for boots or the other progressive glove, and that will be Dark World access.
Right, but having that hammer where it is, it's also going to let him go over to the Paradox area, which is an extremely dense location for items.
Yeah, so, all right, there we go. But let's see what else we have in Eastern. That is, now normally Eastern Palace would have just 3 items in it, but with the maps and compasses shuffled, there's actually going to be 5.
So one of the speed tricks that you just saw there. Normally there are 4 stalls that appear in that room, but since we know where they're going to be, we can kill them before they appear. Just makes the room about 10 seconds faster than it would normally be.
All right, and we're doing a little bit of an out of logic check here. Uh, just kind of fumbling around in the dark a little bit.
Yeah, so importantly, dark rooms are not in logic unless they have a torch in them that you can light with the fire rod. This room down here does not have any torches in it. Oh, and Soyhr taking a death on the way.
Right. So probably and honestly, Ovidius is not in great shape either. He's gonna have to do the. Oh, actually, I don't think Ovidius will just have to do this kind of the slower way, I think.
Could just get the heart from the pot and do the beginner energy strat, which is to do your iframes just on the anti-fairies, like sort of like that. Normally you go up above the pot, but that worked.
Well done. But just for 10 arrows. Meanwhile, Soyhr is gonna make that beeline, gonna just say, okay, it's one item, it's not in logic. Let's skip it for now.
Yeah, when you're racing, you are gonna mess up like that, and it's all about how you recover. It's sometimes you just gotta let that one go. And keep going to where you know the progression is.
Right now, and Ovidius is also gonna go ahead and grab that hammer as well, and it'll be more of a surprise, a pleasant surprise.
And we've got the boots, which will give us that glove, which will get us to the Dark World. So let's see if Soyhr decides to do anything else in here, or...
Because even though we now without the hook shot, we can't do Harapot. Oh, okay. So Soyhr is going to go ahead and do a coffee break here.
Yeah, so I don't hate this. You could run into a boss that you're not able to kill, but just by taking the big key and going upstairs, you could also get a killable mold arm, for instance, and get a green pendant that you can turn in. So I actually do like the gamble here.
Yeah, it's not bad. And again, there's 4 items in here, and all the keys are at least in here. So meanwhile, okay. I saw Ovidius mirroring, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and just skedaddle from there. And Ovidius is gonna go ahead and take that hammer and say, I'll go check out Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave, thank you. But dancing with dead rocks, though. Oh, and
Stacy's being shy today.
Yep, but there is a sword out there. So in this case, I would actually probably do Paradox first. In this particular case, just from a heart conservation perspective.
Yeah, the last thing you need is one of those berries to start shocking, or miss a mold arm and die in here.
Yeah.
And you also, if you're gonna go through the middle connector, you're also gonna have to deal with red tektites. So lots of things that can keep you dead here. Oh, and sniped by a mold arm.
All right, and interestingly, because I don't think Soyhr saw what the boss was, so little interesting about not checking out what that is. Oh, it was Vitreous as the Hera boss. Okay, never mind. Makes total sense. Vitreous is silly.
Yeah, so Vitreous is technically a killable boss because you can use your bombs and your hammer to damage it down, but at this point, that's a huge time investment for just a green pendant. So,
Right.
I do not blame him for skipping out on that.
Now, this is going to be a lot more successful for Soyhr by virtue of not only full hearts, but also having full magic. And that fire rod coming into play very successfully.
Okay, so Finch, you get this glove off the library ledge. Where are you going next?
Whew, okay, so with this club, we still don't have we still lack a lot of information. I check back of escape, and then see if there, and then check from there. From there, I head towards Village of Outcasts.
Okay. Another thing they could do is maybe go to Hype Cave and try to clear some overworld first, because again, we don't have a whole lot of information, and if you're in Village of Outcasts, you're kind of just eyeing up Thieves Town to maybe try to go in there and get a quick boss kill, and again, that's what makes Randomizer very interesting, is that everybody does things differently.
Yep. And meanwhile, oh, that is not a great play. Oh, that was the most opportune.
That is a clutch heart refill there, and now he can save and quit, go get his glove, and
Oh my goodness. All right. Meanwhile,
well, Finch is having a little trouble trying to find this key rat down here in the back of Escape.
yeah, that is the tough thing about doing this without a sword. And does get the key rat though. Very well done.
And this is in logic because they have the fire rod despite not having any magic for it.
Yep, there's the single collectible arrow that you have to throw away anyway because you were already at 30. No refunds or exchanges.
Well, it does point you to where the boots were up on Death Mount.
Oh, okay, there we go. So it's like a hint tile essentially. And honestly, with the glove, and let's see where, and yeah, we did have that difference. Ovidius has to be a little cautious here as well, searching out for that. Oh no.
And yeah, that's an unfortunate side effect of going into a dark room. Sometimes you get got. Alright, Soyhr looking to go to Hype Cave.
Alright. Yeah, and I do like this play, especially you've got the cash for the dig game. Good call, not just dashing. Sawyer's been a little bit more conservative about dashing, I've noticed, but also we haven't picked up a sword yet, so it's a little bit more dangerous to run throughout the world.
Yeah, especially in the dark world when you're on green mail, everything does 2 hearts of damage. Some things do 4 hearts of damage, so I don't mind just walking around things and staying alive.
Yeah. That wasn't, it wasn't terribly helpful. We did get our first bottle, though, and a map of Eastern. And yeah, that's why running can be a little dangerous here.
So, a surprising thing on Sawyer's side, he is not concerned what his 5-6 crystals are at the moment, so he's leaving our unfortunate bomb shop teller all to his lonesome over there.
Yeah, and because that will tell you 2 crystals off the bat. Actually, this is a very opportune heart recovery spot for Soyhr.
Yeah, the low health may have factored into that decision also, because dying trying to get to the bomb shop is obviously not ideal.
Right. All right, let's see what Stumpy has.
A burrito for Hyrule Castle.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we already know that Hyrule Castle is neither a compass nor a pendant.
Or a crystal, even.
Oops, I forget what I said earlier.
Okay, let's dig some treasure here.
I said compass. Oh dear. Yeah, no, definitely not a compass. The castle is not a compass.
I would hope not. It would, the twisting around and stuff would be very disorienting.
Right? I think there was a Doctor Who episode about something like that. As we get a map to Turtle Rock, a little bit more useful at this point.
Well, as we know, technically correct is the best kind of correct.
It really is. All right, and Sawyer's going to go ahead and check out what is on Sick Kid.
Well, depending on who you ask, that kid's not really sick, but we'll just leave that there.
Either way, we took part of his heart. I'm only half sure that Link is the hero in Hyrule.
Well, he goes around into people's houses smashing their pottery. I don't know how heroic that is.
Right, like steals part of his own uncle's heart and steals a kid's heart. All right, and some good game knowledge over on Sawyer's side, knowing that running into that tree will drop a full magic pot. RNG being a little bit less kind to Ovidius over there. When Soyhr picked up that bush, it had been just picking up a bush, but I think there was a guard hiding underneath the one for Ovidius.
Okay, I'm checking out the front of Skull Woods here on Sawyer's side, where Ovidius looks like he's just headed straight to Village of Outcasts. Both have their merits, I think.
Sawyer doing pretty well with that. Have to be a little cautious. And there's our first sword over on Ovidius's side on the treasure game. And that Gibdo really being really wanted to hide there.
So now, importantly, that sword is going to open up the back of Skull Woods along with the fire rod. So Ovidius will be able to check the boss there, and Soyhr probably will not be able to. As we see a Bombo's medallion now. Pairs nicely with that sword also.
Yep, we can now actually use Bombos if we so choose. And depending on how early we are incentivized to go into Ice Palace, that might actually help out. Oh, hey, it's the map of this dungeon. Thieves Town is a crystal.
And everybody say it with me. Is this even randomized?
Depends. Did we get a Titansmiths in here?
Well, that's the vanilla location for Thieves Town now.
Ah. As a fun fact, this commentator has played the vanilla game exactly once, about 3 years ago. All right, meanwhile, Soyhr is setting up for a bomb jump here, and there's another coin over on Ovidius' side.
And a Samaria in the big chest.
That's ooh.
It's a spicy meatball.
Yeah, that's a fun spot for that. Soyhr does have to be a little cautious here. Actually, I like this. Go ahead and scout out what's up here.
He may even want to do Graveyard Legend King's Tomb at this point, but
Yep. And Ovidius gonna go ahead straight to the boss, and we have a cold stare. Because
it's doable.
Yep, because in boss shuffle, you don't actually have to open up the hole in the ceiling and do all that. And we're out of magic, and hammer is going to be our best weaponry now.
Yeah, so he did get a fairy in a bottle, so gonna not have to go back to the end of the dungeon just yet.
Soyhr about to grab his sword from in the chest game.
This would definitely be something.
Yeah, each of those puffballs deals 4 hearts of damage if you collide with it, so... And as I alluded to before, like, you're kind of up in a race. It's all about how you recover from it, and we'll see if maybe Ovidius decides to clear out the back looking for some health first, or just right back into the cold stare fight.
Well, not straight back into the cold stare fight. Doesn't have any magic.
That is true. I did not check that.
And Sawyer's not in great magic shape either right now, but at least dying in the dungeon is at this point is a lot better than dying out in the overworld.
Yes, not only in this dungeon, but in its vanilla location.
Ovidius doing some nice dancing there to avoid taking damage. That's pretty skillful right there.
Yeah, so each of these grasshoppers actually deals 2 hearts of damage. They hurt a lot. Thieves Town can be a fairly innocuous dungeon at times, but it can also be your worst nightmare at times.
And just letting in some light for cold stare. Maybe this sunbeams will help melt the ice a little bit.
And Soyhr into the cold stare fight. And he is only on 2 hearts, but he does have that fairy in a bottle, so we'll see how well he does here.
Ooh, well, good news is we have a fairy. And also trying to stay as north as you can. Okay, good dodging to get out of the way. But yeah, ooh. Yeah, we didn't really find anything else in. We didn't really find anything else in Thieves Town, so Ovidius is going to go ahead and find the $300.
Yeah, we found the flippers in Thieves Town, which places Ice Palace in logic as soon as we get the mitts here.
And yeah, I had missed that flipper, so that's important. We are getting simultaneous North Hyrule checks here with Graveyard Ledge. We're gonna pick up that heart container.
Yeah, the cold stare fight, especially on fighter sword and having to use a hammer like that, is certainly not an easy one. It's one that, I mean, even the NMG cold stare fight is
far from easy, so. And definitely go upside down very quickly. And a hook shot in the King's Tomb. So that may steer Ovidius into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and Swamp Palace, that's a smorgasbord of items at this point. That's where I would go, even not knowing if it's a crystal or pendant at this particular point in time. Oh, and yep, this is a good route from Ovidius, because Ovidius had not checked Zora area, so there's going to be Catfish, Waterfall, Zora Ledge. Gonna probably pick up that blue armor, honestly. At this point, we have not collected any dungeon prizes yet, like let alone crystals or pendants, or in my case, compasses.
Yeah, so because of boss shuffle, your first crystal is going to come a lot later than it normally would in a regular old open seed. So I'm not that surprised that we haven't seen any dungeon prizes yet.
Yeah, but it definitely doesn't, especially with the pressure of this particular race. Ovidius, 2-1 right now. Still has 2 more races after this against Lumaga. Soyhr, this is Sawyer's last race for the groups. Sawyer's in pretty good shape, currently 3-2 in the group, but there's still a lot to go.
We're opting to grab some potions here.
Honestly, especially considering we've got like early Skull Woods boss and Cold Stare. Understandable. As we get the red meringue, it's trackable.
And it looks like Soyhr got a second sword, which is going to make that Cold Stare fight a lot more palatable.
Yeah,
We'll see how he decides to route this. Ovidius running out of the Zora area. It's interesting. Don't see that very often.
Oh, okay. To verify on map, so Meyer, TR, and Thief's Town are all crystals. Yeah, is this going to be running to pod, or like pyramid plus pod? Looks like.
Looks like he's at least running to pyramid, and yeah, pod is definitely a spot that you can go. Looks like he's going to take a whirlpool here.
And that red boomerang was on Zora.
Okay, we saw something on Hylia earlier, I suppose. Another heart container. All right, fair enough.
Yep, and then we'll check under the bridge. Okay, and then we check under the bridge here, and that will at least get Ovidius done with all the overworld water checks at this point.
All right, now we'll see what the boss for Skull Woods is here on Sawyer's side. Wave it to us here in the booth.
Oh, Armos Knights. Okay.
Okay, well, Armos Knights are one of the easier bosses to kill, and what is that Armos Knight doing?
Yeah, just going on a little bit of an adventure. That's all.
Yeah, just
the nice thing,
doing some major glitches. It seems. I think we should disqualify these Armos Knights.
I actually do think that the Armos Knights do take some spike damage as well, so that's why some of them, because a Master Sword doesn't do this well against them, and good call using the blue potion there, and yeah, that guard just hanging out. And yeah, they are taking spike damage, and that's a considerable amount, honestly.
Yeah, so they normally take 8 gold sword hits to kill, which is the same amount of damage that the spikes do. Interestingly, the way that the damage table is on the Armos Knights, it actually does more damage to poke them with the sword rather than slash. Oh, Soyhr in not a great situation here. Let's see if he can get these last couple slashes off.
Oh dear. Oh, this.
Oh.
Oh.
We do have a Swamp Palace play now.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Sawyer's going to go ahead and check the basement here. And there's our bow. So now Pod and Eastern are looking a lot more palatable, since they can be completed out of logic. Well, Eastern is in logic now, but...
Okay, so we have a pendant, a desert, and a 6 crystal at Eastern Palace. So looks like he's gonna go on over to Eastern and hope that he can finish that out.
Yep, except we still need a bow. Even if not for the Armos Knights, but just for the red mimics there. So, or the red Igor, sorry. And then the red mimics in pods. So Sawyer's gonna have to make his way back into Thieves Town for those flippers. All right, so then between Pod, Swamp, and Skull Woods, what is our final pendant? All right, and Ovidius doing a great job there, verifying, hey, let's, we know our stun prize is going to be hearts. Let's go ahead and use those, shall we?
And quick dispatch of the first puff on Sawyer's side here. Now that he has a good amount of magic.
Ooh, okay, and more importantly, that blue potion.
Yep, those safeties do nothing for you if you don't use them during the game. They just look pretty on the end screen. So
Yep. All right, and that is crystal number 1 for Soyhr. GG. All right. Meanwhile, over on Ovidius' side, we got some less size swamp action, getting a heart container out of it.
We're also recognizing that while this is a long dungeon, that everything in the back is in logic here, and going back to go and get some of it. And we already know that the flippers are back here, but it's a fairly good play regardless.
Right. Ovidius doing a quick check there, just to double check if he had the big key. Gonna opt to do kind of some vanilla routing here instead of diver down with bombs, which definitely understand.
So diver down with bombs is not something that every single person knows, and even if you know it, like in a race scenario, sometimes you just don't feel it. Sometimes you're just not feeling it that day, so we have the game knowledge that can route us around it.
Well, and especially considering every time you try to do bomb diver down, it's going to cost you a little bit of health, and we don't know who the final boss is. There's the Titansmiths, though. We're gonna need those.
Yeah, with the 3 normal endgame dungeons all being crystals, those myths are huge. They can lift huge things.
All right, so let's see. What is our final shopping list then, Sliver? We were chatting a little bit before this race, wondering about Ice Rod and when it would end up showing up. All right, we just got some land molas here.
So we already know where the Cane of Samaria is. The only other thing I could possibly see that they would need would be a Quake Medallion for either a Mire or TR opening. But it looks like once Ovidius goes into Skull Woods to get his red cane, then we may be in go mode, depending on where the Trinings end up.
Yeah, and that is a pendant for Swamp Palace. Now, we needed to do this. We needed to go in. We needed to pretty much finish Swamp Palace anyway. But it doesn't feel great doing a long dungeon. But having those Titansmiths in the back definitely ease that pain a little bit.
And so we're just grabbing those flippers, saying thank you very much, and going straight to Swamp Palace with them. Nice situational awareness here.
All right, and we're getting our first check of Mire area. Not a whole lot there.
So Finch, I don't play a lot of Randomizer. Can you maybe walk me through how spawning the bosses in each dungeon works?
I'm going to be completely honest. That's an excellent question.
Okay, I'll take it anyway. So in the vanilla game, you have one boss in every dungeon, and they're all different. But when you get into Ganon's Tower, then you have to refight the Armos Knights, Lamolus, and the Moldorm. So the boss shuffle works kind of the same way in that every boss will be spawned once, but 3 of them will be spawned twice. I don't believe we've seen any repeats so far.
I think we just... If I saw correctly, we may have a second cold stare here in Desert. I think when Ovidius, it's either cold stare or it's Vitreous. I couldn't tell which one, in full disclosure, but
well, our illustrious tracker has your back, and I do believe it is a cold stare.
Right, so, but yeah, and Cold Stare being our double isn't the worst. And there is another sword.
Yep, so that is actually required. You do need at least a Master Sword to damage Ganon.
Yeah, and depending on the other swords, because there is still one sword up on Floating Island. So if that would get us to Tempered, I think we pick it up. If it gets us to Butter Sword, to Golden Sword, I think we skip it.
Yeah, and it's all about how much faster it makes it for you. Like if you can execute Ganon with Gold Sword 50 seconds faster than you can with Tempered Sword, then by all means go up and get it.
Yeah. Oh, okay, and that's what was in Dark Cross. Soyhr was able to get that Dark Cross, but Ovidius had died, unfortunately, on the way there, and that was for a sword.
Certainly unfortunate, but you at least know where your Tempered is in this seed, so shouldn't hurt him too much.
Right. And at least has to be still some cautious, but at least Ovidius did pick up that blue mail. So that is going to be a little bit of an advantage here for Ovidius versus when Soyhr was doing Cold Stare in Thieves Town. Well done. Also, with Boss Shuffle, the item will always spawn in the center of the room there. So, if you're Ovidius, I mean, it doesn't feel good having done 2 of the pendants, and you know where the third one is. Do you start hoping for Ped being something?
If I'm in Ovidius's position and I've already got 2 pendants, I'm looking at that extremely quick Hera dungeon that I can do and just flute over and pull the pedestal. Especially since you haven't done Skull Woods yet. So doing a Hera play into the Skull Woods, which will effectively put him in, I guess we'll call it Ice mode, because we still don't know if there's going to be a Trinex in the way or not.
Right. Looks like this will be Pod Eastern back-to-back, though, which honestly works out really nicely. They're both 5/6 crystals. Like, they're both crystals, and they happen to be the 5/6 crystals tonight. And
the Myra Medallion actually is Quake, so good catch by chat there. Yeah, so we do need to still find a Quake Medallion.
Yeah, so we still have a little bit of a shopping list. As we approach the 1 hour mark of this race, please make sure to give our racers a follow, putting on an excellent show for us in this most McBosses of the. This is the most McBossiest seed that we've got for us.
And also, thank you to our restreamer, Ricky of Kokiri, our Trapper, Akpaish, and of course you, Sorcerer Finch. This has been a delight. We have a little bit left yet.
Gonna make us blush. All right, but we do have Soyhr collecting that pendant of wisdom, because in this game, wisdom is the red pendant.
Yeah, that was a color swap that they started with the 3D games, which are too big for my tiny brain. So I just play this 2D one over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we'll shuffle everything up. It's okay. We'll make it a new experience every time. And Soyhr gonna go ahead and dip into Ice Palace here.
Yeah, Ice Palace, a big boogeyman in rando circles. Nobody really seems to like doing it, especially if you're like Ovidius and you're missing that red cane, but Sawyer getting that red cane from Skullwood is going to make this routing a lot better. The vanilla route for Ice Palace is not great, and even the NMG route is very circuitous and very confusing sometimes.
All right, using bombs there to clean up. And it's a good thing that Sawyer doesn't need to do the Ice Palace bomb jump, because Sawyer is down to 1 bomb.
Well, there are a few bombs on the way. The NMG route is beautiful and perfect, says chat. Agree to disagree.
And there's... All right, there we go. Gonna get turned into a bunny beam.
You get to see that Mog's bunny sprite is Celeste, so I don't know what's going on there, but...
Honestly, that is one of the other, as we appreciate the game, I also have to appreciate the sprite designers and the creativity.
Absolutely. There are a ton of sprites now. It's like 400 on the main website alone, and
right, and like I still remember. All right, and key for key over there on for Harmless Hellway. Oh, okay. So chat explaining that it looks like in Final Fantasy there is a glitch that can overwrite Celeste's sprite with Mog's sprite. So that is opportune, and that is a fire-locked lamp there in the back of pod. You love to see it.
Yeah, again, I explained this before, but I don't think PH was here, so I'll explain it for him. If a dark room has torches in it, you can definitely light those with the fire rod, and that is something that the randomizer expects you to do.
Yeah, at least with the advanced settings, there is another mode that will require you to have the lamp kind of no matter what, so you won't have fire locked fire, or you won't have lamp locked behind fire, but pretty much everything randomizer on this side does allow for that. Like if you can light a torch, you can get a lamp. Ooh, and Freezor doing some damage right there.
Yeah, Freezor's hurt. And I can't tell on the Mog Sprite because it doesn't really look much different when you have armor, but I don't think Sawyer's gotten any.
Soyhr has not, because on Sawyer's trip up to Zora, Soyhr did not have the flippers, and still does have Zora to check as well. But for Ice, we have Blind.
And we're going to help ourselves out a little bit with a Samaria block, which does damage blinds and is quite effective in doing so.
Right, and they also have Cape. You've got Cape? Oh, okay. Okay, we got another bottle. We're good. Actually, that's the best place to catch Blind, like as Blind is coming down.
Oh, and we've got an ice rod on Blind, so we can kill every single boss now. We're just looking for a Quake Medallion.
Yep, Quake from Go mode. And Sawyer does have that bow now as well, so right now it's close to a Oh, we also do have a vanilla King Helma. Yep, this seed has the jokes.
Soyhr going and replacing his 2 potions. Very, very smart.
All right, and not a whole lot of cash there, but this is a little curious. Soyhr has been opting to skip Pod Eastern. Okay, this is now going to be Pod Eastern. Okay.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go to Dark Death Mountain, and then he realized with that bow he can finish both Pod and Eastern, which are both of the, not even just crystals, they're both the red crystals. So I'm wondering if we see a Pyramid Fairy play out of either of our runners after this.
Right. Like right now, Ovidius is still looking for items, still looking for Cane of Samaria and that ice rod. And Krebel didn't know about that when making the sprite. Was very confused when the glitch runners were praising him. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great.
But sometimes you accidentally big brain something.
But it is the creativity of of all the different sprites, like the couple, like the Final Fantasy ones, like Clippy using like the Bonzi Buddy, Adware, mascot.
So you're a big Final Fantasy fan. His screen name is actually from Final Fantasy, so.
All right. Meanwhile, Ovidius making his way to the back of Eastern, about to see what boss we have. We can, if it's Trinex, this is gonna feel bad.
And
nope, we've got a
7-eyed Moldor.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
We don't get the full 8, but we'll take the 7.
The 7 has probably a bit more chaos. Oh, hey, look, it's.
Oh, look, now you know that the Moldorm is the boss of this dungeon. It's very, very good. Very good information there. Thank you, game.
Yep, and technically, because we picked it up before we picked up the dungeon prize, it was in logic.
And I think Ovidius is heading to Skull Woods.
Yep. So if
Gonna do the Cold Stare refit first. Okay, understandable.
oh yeah, especially now you've got full magic, you've got full hearts, so you can do some shenanigans here. Whoops. I need that bomb to explode there. But this will loop pretty nicely for Ovidius here. Ovidius will be able to. Now, Ovidius will have to check the Skullwoods big chest, because that is where Cane of Samaria ended up being.
Yes.
And that was a little curious. Soyhr.
Yeah, Soyhr passing up the darkness.
Yeah. Now,
I don't believe that he knows that he needs the quick medallion yet.
right now, it'll pay out in this particular case, but that is that's an interesting skip.
It's understandable, honestly, because he's died a few times to bosses. Like, he's probably feeling a little bit behind, but he is actually not behind at the moment. So they're pretty much even from what I can see.
Yeah, in terms of crystals, right now, Ovidius does have the lead. Just three crystals to 2, but this is going to be 2 crystals back to back very quickly for Soyhr. Ovidius getting sniped there by the flying trident.
Gray Skull, so little RNG mishap.
And for context on MC Boss, and something kind of going back to something I was saying earlier, and you were kind of correct me a little bit, and correctly, turns out, because Ovidius on stream does have a bit of a tracker going of, like, first crystal dungeon being done at the 104 mark, second dungeon 106, third dungeon 108.
Yeah, crystals come hard and fast in this mode, so
yeah. Now Skullwoods and Skullwoods here. This is going to be another one in, again, about 2 to 3 minutes since the past one.
So we here in the booth know that pedestal is not required, but Ovidius does not know that. Do you think we get head check after this dungeon?
I think so, because Ped could still be Quake.
That is true. I will be over here in case anyone needs it.
Yeah. Now it is on life support though. It is
right.
it is the last possible thing that we would need. And yeah, the floors, and honestly here, I mean, yeah, the floors are the most dangerous weapon here.
Yeah, any boss on the moving floor is just instantly twice slower.
Yeah,
I think that's what makes Moth such a, and you see that especially in Boss Shuffle. It's like if Moth outside of the moving floor is just instantly kill it, don't worry about it. It's not very dangerous at all. But when you add the moving floor and the spikes and stuff, it just becomes that much harder.
Right, and at the 111:59 mark, Ped is dead. And yes, Soyhr had died on Armos Nights before.
So he does still need to go all the way back to Skullwoods and kill them, but that will be a little bit easier with some more health in that bow.
Yeah, absolutely. And Soyhr picking up that picking up those arrows.
Now we finally rescue this poor old man from inside that very dark and scary cave, and he gives you $20 for your effort.
I mean, to be fair, that would still be a pretty decent tip overall, if you kind of feel like. But yeah, Ovidius skipping out on the big chest in Skullwoods it's gonna hurt, but this is gonna be Dark Death Mountain here. Oh, Ovidius had died here, right, during while trying to leave Spiral Cave. So these are new checks for Ovidius.
Right, he died on the way to Paradox Cave and just left that alone, so yeah, but leaving that Cane of Samaria in the Skullwoods big chest is gonna hurt a lot. I think they were about even before maybe Soyhr was even a little bit behind, but now that we've left that Cane of Samaria there, Samaria is one of those things that can be just about anywhere, so.
Now this is very reminiscent of Link's Awakening, that Moldorm fight. But Moldorm goes down on Soyr's side, and that is 4th crystal.
So we're even in crystal count, but I believe Ovidius has one more pendant.
That is correct. Ovidius did desert. And Ovidius is going to be picking up that sword as well right now. Ovidius.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest damage boost in the game. So between Master and Tempered Sword, so yeah, it's definitely, there's not a lot that you should go out of your way for in this game safety-wise, but that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, and we do have Bombos Medallion for Turtle Rock, so Ovidius.
Yeah, I believe Ovidius is just in the tank whether to go after that or not.
Well, and we can go ahead and open it up, and then immediately just go off and try to find that Cane of Samaria. But it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and crack it open now.
So you're gonna go do his Armos refight for his 5th crystal.
Yeah, and after this, I do see Soyhr also going up Dark Death Mountain at this point.
He also has not been to Mire area yet, so I would not be surprised if Mire area was the play before Dark Death Mountain, because that's just at least 3 right away. That's at least 3 checks right away. And then you also get the info on the Mire medallion.
True. Actually, and that's a better point. Yeah, just try to see, do you actually, what all do you need, like as your final shopping list. All right, and we got the swag net over on Ovidius' side, and this will absolutely be the. Let's just go ahead and grab that.
Oh yeah, but a mushroom, that's might get him off track a little bit.
All right, and well done. There's the map to this dungeon, and that is crystal number 5. And yeah, yep. So I think Ovidius will go ahead and do Hera first and then Spike Cave.
Yeah, so Hera being pendant, it is a little more valuable to do it because we don't know what the green pendant turn-in is yet.
Right, now we do know, and yep, there's confirmation that we do need the Quake medallion. But yeah, and Ovidius does know Pet is dead, so that's at this point you've already done the 2 pendant dungeons though. Ooh, okay, so
And we're seeing an alternate method of Herapot here. Just put yourself in the hook speed state, get to a certain pixel, and hook yourself into the pot, rather than bombing yourself into it.
it is amazing how many different ways. Yep, and there's and there's the other way, or another way for Ovidius. Trying to line up the menu edge with the chest. with the chest edge. There are, what, 4 different ways, I think, now? Like, there's Philipot, there's that way, there's hook speed.
The German community actually came up with a rather nice Harapot setup that does not require any diagonal inputs that I have switched to recently. I believe the one that made the video about it is Lord Raiden. So just search that up. Search him up on YouTube. And I think he only goes through 2 of the possible lineups for the Harapot, but there are 5 or 6 pixels that you can actually do that from.
All right, and Ovidius going ahead and doing a little curious why not just going ahead and using the bow. It's a little bit quicker at this point. But either way, that's Vitreous down for another fetch quest item.
I mean, at this point, you've already died to several bosses, and popping out of that cape just makes you that much more vulnerable to not only take damage but to be knocked off. So, I don't hate doing the boss just caped up there. It's safe.
It's safe, but we're also leaving an item behind. We are leaving that big chest.
Right. Behind. And that's the other side of dying on bosses, is because you know you've already lost time and you need to make it up somewhere, so you gotta pick stuff to skip, and fortunately, Ovidius has already skipped the big chest of Skullets, which has his red cane inside.
Yeah, well, and neither of our racers, I mean, to be clear, neither of our racers feel good or ahead. Both have taken a couple unfortunate deaths, unfortunately. But this race is still far from decided, especially as we try to find where is Quake Medallion.
And I'm just thinking it's maybe just right here in Turtle Rock.
There's not a lot between the 2 runners. There's not a lot that we haven't seen.
Yep, so we've got the Green Pendant Turn-In. We've got the Pyramid Fairy. We also do have Bombo's Tablet. Let's see. Mushroom Turn-In. And and Smith Chain. We haven't done Smith Chain yet.
And here's the Pyramid Fairy play from Ovidius. This is not a bad play in my opinion, but you also have a fully clearable Crystal Ice Palace that you could be doing.
And there's a little bit of a head shake there on Soyr's side, picking up the Mirror Shield. Which, to be fair, it's French vanilla. This is the dungeon you would normally get it.
Especially because he got his fire shield eaten by a picket. You know, you definitely don't want to reintroduce the shield to the equation.
Ooh, and down to 3 hearts. Soyhr, use the magic that you've got.
Just caping up and getting past the chain chomps.
Especially since Soyhr is still on green mail. Now, we haven't found our second armor upgrade yet, but the first one's on Zora Ledge. I don't see Soyhr going back there for a while, unless Soyhr thought that's where that Zora had Quake.
And from Sawyer's side, if Zora does have Quake, you just have to accept at this point. Like right now, he's just hoping that it's not required. Like to get back there is so much time investment, and it's only going to be for one item. I mean, just keep following your progression at this point.
Right. All right, and Ovidius. All right, let's see. Where is Ovidius going?
Looks like maybe a Smith chain?
Okay. I'm worried Ovidius is waiting for Canis Samaria before doing Ice Palace.
Yeah, and that is something that a lot of runners do, especially if you don't know the Ice Palace bomb jump. But it can lead to situations like this where you're just clearing stuff for no reason, and you could also just get a crystal in the meantime. But it's hard to racing is hard. Like straight up, racing is very difficult. It's difficult to put all of your knowledge together and then also like route efficiently and whatnot.
Right. And Mimic Cave, by the way. Mimic Cave not being the answer. But we are going to get some hammer pegs over on Ovidius' side. I mean, Ovidius... Okay, hey, we'll take half magic. I guess the good news... Like, Ovidius finding the Quake Medallion early or soon is good, but still has to get back to Skull Woods. That's the tough part. Also, that crystal roller will do 4 hearts of damage there to Soyhr, so it's got to be a little cautious. Oh no!
And another fetch quest. Taking you back to where you just came from on the purple chest. Ugh. This is a gross logic chain.
Oh jeez. Yep.
And hopefully Soyhr recognizes he's at low health and takes that safety door outside of Turtle Rock.
And actually, this is where Mirror Shield actually comes into play here. Well, we found a cane and 10 arrows. All right, using blue potion. Still a little nervous. Oh, and
we've got that Quake Medallion on Laser Bridge. And at 127, I believe that is go mode for Soyhr.
That is indeed go mode. Oh, yep, gonna go ahead and burn that other potion.
Like I said before, there's no use except for looking pretty at the end of the game. You gotta stay alive no matter how you have to do it.
Yeah, and it's a quick flute over to 2 to get more potions. And it is a vanilla Trinex too.
Yeah, so even when you get the Canis Samaria, you have to go over and do Ice Palace first, so we'll see what happens here. It's definitely not over until somebody crosses the finish line.
Yeah, but Soyhr with the huge advantage and also taking down the first 2 heads of Trinex very nicely, and well done. Oh, and you can't miss those silvers.
Always love to see some free silvers. And only a piece of heart on the green pendant turn in. I think I did see in chat that Ovidius may have miscounted their Skullwoods items, because normally there are only 2 items in Skullwoods, but in this mode there are 4. So I'm wondering if that's maybe the reason for the big chest skip.
Yeah, because this is Ovidius is going to go ahead and get that butter sword now. Now that it's finally in logic, but Soyhr is going to go ahead and go to Meyer, clean that up. We'll try to guess the number between 1 and 22. So this is definitely Soyhr does have the advantage here. We will hope though that Ovidius makes their way to Skull Woods.
And looks like Ovidius is heading back towards Skullwoods, so...
Yep, there we go.
But having to clear 3 dungeons to Sawyer's 1, that's certainly not ideal. And still skipping the big chest.
To be fair, I don't believe...
Did he maybe get the big key in this mummy room?
I think so. I think, yeah, I think we just don't have the big key quite yet, is all.
That makes sense, then.
Crypto's being a little bit of an annoyance there.
Yeah, the way this game handles collision with statues is, we'll just call it a little suspect, especially when it comes to Gyptos.
To be fair, there is a lot of game in this well-coded game. Oh, and Soyhr had to burn one of the potions there just to have enough magic for this pickup.
I'm not sure about that one. Just continuing on to the next room, there's a full magic refill in there, so I think you just do your transition and then you come right back, and then you'll have enough magic for both rooms if you choose to do the cutscene chest, which sort of seems to be trying to skip.
Yep, but that is the red cane for Ovidius. Still not quite in go mode. Still need to do Ice Palace and then Turtle Rock. But hopefully this does incentivize Ovidius to go to Ice Palace. Oh no.
And it looks like Ovidius is going to choose Turtle Rock over Ice Palace, which we here in the booth know is not the right play at all. There's a Trinex at the top of that.
And an Ice Palace off of, or an Ice Rod, excuse me, off of Cold Stare. All right, lighting up the cutscene chest lamps here. Soyhr is in just what feels like, especially as a racer, what feels like forever. Especially in a tight race scenario. All right, and there is the vanilla big key.
Yeah, chat mentioned that. Yeah, Turtle Rock does have more items. It's just unfortunate because, like, we know what the right path is, and unfortunately, Ovidius is gonna get burned here.
Okay, at least does have the knowledge there about Trinex. So knows at least that Ovidius, he knows that he's looking for that ice rod there.
Ovidius also can just save a portal once he doesn't find the ice rod in here, so... unfortunately, since the ice rod is on Cold Stare, though, that would involve bombing himself a lot, which, unfortunately, the saving the portal will not work out either.
Oh, and Meyer blind fight. Oh, this is
Yeah, so that's our second repeated boss, I believe.
That is, yes. Yeah, we've had blind twice. We've had cold stare twice.
And Mirror Shield putting in some work for Soyhr, so maybe he doesn't quite regret getting it.
If anything, it makes the laser bridge a lot. It made laser bridge a lot more straightforward. But that is crystal number 7. So, Sliver, what's your favorite number between 1 and 22?
That is a very specific question, Sorcerer Finch. Why are you asking that?
Well, because, maybe that favorite number might correspond with which chest the Ganon Tower Big Key will be in once Soyhr enters Ganon's Tower.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm gonna go with number 6.
All right, and I'm just gonna add teen onto that. I'm gonna go with 16 tonight.
I see.
Don't think we'll get Tower Room, but I think we will get pretty deep into Ganon's Tower. Couple nice things, we've got lamps, so for a Ganon fight, we don't have to worry about torch glitch and like having to rely on fire rod.
No, with tempered and silvers, you usually don't have any worries about that.
That's true. And yeah, we're pretty well equipped for the climb. The only thing that would really help out now is going to be that progressive armor for Soyhr, but that's about it. And for Ovidius, Ovidius will find Meyer's Quake Medallion, but will be on an Ice Rod hunt, unfortunately.
Well, I'm not sure if Chad is aware of this, but Ice Rod hunts are very basically every rando runner's worst nightmare, because the Ice Rod only locks one check, and it can basically be just about anywhere in the world.
All right, and Hope Room is not the answer, but Sawyer's going to go ahead and keep on going right side.
No tile room for the mean, Sag.
Oh, this is going to be tight on timing. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Soyhr figuring out that Swaria block is actually made of rubber and likes to bounce everywhere.
All right, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. That is not the answer.
It's
Right.
unfortunate. Soyhr grabbing this extra key here to make sure he doesn't have to scour the rest of the chests looking for small keys once he gets the big key.
There's number 7. That still counts as a check, even though we won't pick up that bloopy. And there's Quick Medallion on Ovidius' side. 8, 9, 10. And 11 is the answer.
11 was the answer. Looks like we had a couple right answers in chat.
Looks like Taylin and Diabolical Pancake. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you both win a lifetime supply of randomizer seats.
Redeemable at ALttPR.com. Which, hey, if you're new to Randomizer, if this is the first time you're seeing a Link to the Past Randomizer race, give it a try. It's a lot of fun. It's a great community. A lot of great resources to help you get running, literally. And we actually have a mentor tournament done on the Go Mode podcast side of things that you can learn how to rando.
Yeah, that mentor tournament will be starting up at the end of this month, and myself and Sorcerer Finch are both very familiar with this tournament, having both participated in it last year.
Yep, it was a huge learning opportunity. I've actually done I've been doing Randomizer for a couple years, but my skills got a heck of a lot better. Especially with consistency. Please don't watch my Inverted race from like a week ago.
Yeah, and along with our illustrious tracker Akuhaish, who was in Gold Sword with me, and the runner that you see, Soyhr, was also in that mentor tournament. So a lot of people from that class still keeping with it, which is good to see. It's good to see some familiar names out there sometimes.
Yep, and by the way, we do have our first Argus.
Yeah, so what happened there is when Argus is in that room, Argus in the vanilla game jumps way up and goes off of the screen, but when it goes off of the screen, the game loses track of the boss and thinks that you have killed the boss because there's nothing in the room there, so it just opens the door. So that's why he didn't have to kill the jellyfish. He can just keep going.
All right, we are on Clockwork Room. Right here has to be low cost of timing. There we go.
And Soyhr not opening any more chests. He does not need anything else to kill Ganon.
Yeah, and actually pretty good on health here. Oh, that's kind of nice, honestly. It's nice to have a nice Mothula kind of at the Moldorm 2 spot.
Yeah, in this mode, Mothula is probably the easiest boss because all you have to do is just walk up to it and slash.
A very nice fake out as well on Sawyer's side. Like, I'll pick up that chest. No, I won't. All right, and we're gonna practice some agonometry. Does get that first slash in. Just need to reflect six of those bowls back into Aghanim. Very nice triple to end that off.
And now we drop in to stick the big pig.
All right, and again, it is fought in 2 phases. Ooh, that's a nice position there for phase 2. And Ovidius is going to go ahead and use that half magic and cape to good matter, but we are on phase 3 over on Sawyer's side. Teleport just teleports around.
Yeah, so just a little aside as to what was happening over on Ovidius' side. If you are wearing the magic cape and you grab a wall, it will not use any magic, but it will keep you invisible.
Yeah, which is very handy, but Ganon couldn't get the light switch in time. Get your GGs in chat as Soyhr is about to cross the finish line and come in first place.
Yeah, very, very well done by Soyhr. He's a good friend of mine, and it's nice to see his efforts rewarded sometimes. And we are actually joined by the man himself. Hello, Soyhr. GG.
Hello, GG's. My heart is still racing. I so much. Oh,
I'll say it was very tense. It was the big difference maker though was you got the Canis Tamaria pretty early.
I don't even remember where it was.
It was in the Skullwood's big chest, which you started in Mummy Room and just went right to the big chest. Whereas we're not exactly sure what happened on Ovidius' side, but he just kind of left it there the whole game.
Oh, that hurts a little bit. Yeah, actually, Skullwood's Marmos, I thought I was so behind because of that, and then a couple of the Cold Stare in Thieves Town on like 5 hearts with green mail. That was cool. Yeah, I feel once I got like everything but Quake, I just started go mode and everything. I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna go. So.
Yeah, and we never did find that other armor upgrade. I know you checked Zora. I know you checked the Zora area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I saw that and I was like, I'm not going back for that if I ever have to.
Right, and fortunately it was just a red meringue on Zora, so something trackable, but
yeah.
So definitely some challenges here. Can you talk us through maybe how you overcame some of that early dying to bosses and such?
Nerves. Those nerves happened, and what was it? The Armos fight may have been a controller on the ground at one point with my fist on the desk. And then I realized it's not worth it. Just calm down, deep breath, and go. And basically after that, I was like, no matter what happens, you still have a chance. So I calmed down after the Armos Knights and the Cold Stare fight, and I cleared those up. I think I got the flippers, and I was like, all right, Swamp, get the mitts. All right, Ice Palace. All right, I'm in go when I got the Ice Rod. And I technically wasn't because of Quake, but I was playing it as if I was. And that's what really calmed me down, because I was like, I can go at this point. You know, I don't have to worry about actually, like, whatever happens, happens type thing. Took a deep breath, took a second, and just went. So that's thankfully, I watched a lot of chat in the Zelda speedrun chat while I was kind of waiting. Was the mentor tournament helped me? All these tournaments that I'm doing helped me calm down. It's like, it's just a game, and whatever happens, happens. You know.
Yeah. And I'll say it's not over until it's over. I mean,
and I fully agree with that. Like, because once I got the mitts and Swamp, I was like, all right, well, dungeon time, and I pretty much just ABCD'd everything, and luckily everything was on the way. So I really got kind of bailed out with that Quake being on Laser Bridge. That was really, really nice.
Yeah. And it also meant that you didn't have to chase, because unfortunately we did find a couple fetch quest items. Like, and Half Magic was at Hammer Pegs.
Oh, I could have had that so long ago.
But on the other hand, there, because at that point there really wasn't a good path for you back there unless you wanted to clear more overworld checks when you had dungeons available.
Yeah. And that, I think that's kind of what cleared my mind about everything, was just really just going for those dungeons, because the overworld was dead to me. I just felt so far behind. I was like, I have to start clearing and catching up. And then throughout all of GT, I think once I started looking at the race room right around Turtle Rock with Quake, because I know Ovidius is a really good player, and I did already lose to him once. So I was really nervous because this was kind of a big match for me. So when I was looking at the race room, I was like checking every single time I got done with a dungeon or something like that, and my adrenaline just kept pumping and pumping and pumping.
Yeah, so you mentioned it's a big match for you. This was your last match of Challenge Cup's troops. What can you maybe expand upon that? Why this match was so big, and
so
what happens after this?
Yeah, well, for me, it was based on the way that the rules are set up and everything like that, and the head-to-heads. I went 1-0 against, or 1-1 against Vix, who is currently in second with 3-3. I would have gone, if I didn't win this one, I would be 0-2 against Ovidius, and I'd be 3-3. So there's my two tiebreakers out. And then I went, luckily I went 2-0 against the Maga. So this puts me at 4-2 and completely locks me into brackets, because I think Ovidius is the only other one that can go 4-2 now.
Congratulations on making brackets then.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did not think I was going to be able to get there, but hey, I'm happy that I did.
Never over till it's over, man.
Yeah.
And then I just want to say, I totally had the validation chest fake out planned ever since I was up there. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm on Restream. I'm freaking doing it. And then I was luckily able to see the entire chat just blow up, and I was like,
Yeah, very nice.
exactly what I wanted to happen.
Oh, geez, well done. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. At that point, I was like, I was in go mode for since pod, so I wasn't checking anything, but I wanted to fake some people out. But, yeah, overall, I feel like it was it was a jetty seed. It was a very jetty seed, and a couple of deaths at the beginning is why I felt so far behind. Once I got the item of flippers from Cold Stare, and I saw Armos, and I almost had Armos down, which would have been glorious. But if I didn't die to Armos, I might have still been like just pressing myself the entire time too. And I don't really know, you know. All works out in the end.
Yep. And over on Ovidius' side, by the way, Ovidius did clear up. Ice Palace did get to Ice Palace, picked up that Ice Rod, and Ovidius is on his way to Turtle Rock. Yeah, y'all have a pretty tough group here. So between you and Vix and Ovidius and Lamaga, like we've got some. Y'all have got some good matchups in here.
Yeah, every match I think the Vix and I won. I lost by 1:08, and then I won by 50 seconds. Lumaga was pretty close as well. I think they were within like a dungeon or two of each other. And then the Ovidius one, the one I lost, I think I was like a dungeon behind. And then this one, I kind of got lucky with the route. So yeah, everyone in here has been really close. Just seeing everybody go 1-1 against each other. Lumaga put himself in a great shape, winning against Vix Rider today, to kind of make some noise in there too. So it's definitely interesting to see how this is all going to play out. I know Ovidius and Lumaga still have 2 matches to go.
Right. Like, so there is still a lot. There is still a lot to decide in Group H. So this is gonna be a good matchup, and it's also a good kind of nice representation from the. We were talking earlier in the broadcast, because Soyhr, you were a mentor tournament graduate from last year. Is that correct?
I am actually, and everybody that was talking about the mentor tournament in chat, like, they are not wrong. I met a lot of really cool people, and then I want to say I got better at the game then. So it's really, really good experience, and I'm probably going to be a mentor at this point, just because I like signed up for both, just to be like, hey, if I still need learning or something, whatever. But I think I'm probably going to go to mentoring at this point. So it's also something that I think just getting more people and just having people learn more and just build the community is really good too.
As someone who was there for the whole ride, we all got night and day difference better at the game when you go through the mentor tournament.
Most definitely. I know they said they were doing something a little different this year than last year, but whatever they do is you're still going to get week to week like practice with people, and then even still afterwards, I can say that there are many people that I know of from the mentor tournament that are in the main tournament as well, where I've been like, hey, I need help with this room, or I need help with this, and it's been helping me obviously be able to do well here too.
Yeah, I had the same thing where I'm mostly more on the NMG side. I'm more of a vanilla speedrunner than a rando runner, but even with that took my time down considerably just because I was connected with those people that could give me the help that I needed.
Absolutely. And I think Ovidius is doing what I was doing the entire time, is I do not have the race room covered whatsoever, or I have it covered. I don't see it until I start peeking at it, which was not what I'd like to do. So I really respect finishing through everything, even though this seed's been pretty rough.
Yeah, and speaking of, Ovidius is gonna go ahead and get into Ganon's tower here.
I thought he was going to mirror out at that point. I was like, yes, he's making the right play, unlike what I did.
Yeah, this, and actually, that was one other thing. I thought you had like less than a second to get through the door here.
Oh, it was all planned. Everything's planned, dude. It was all planned. Don't worry about it. I had everything under control. I also had two red cane shots here, you know.
I personally did not doubt you for a second, Soyhr.
I was pressing X crazily for doubting. So it was definitely one of those like, uh-oh.
All right, well, and as Ovidius finishes off the rest of the seed, kind of any final thoughts about this one before we put it to bed?
Not really. Glad it's over. I really wish I had my watch on to tell me what my heart rate was during Ganon, because it was extremely high.
I'd imagine it was pretty high for the past hour.
Yep.
Or for the past, let's see, you finished at 147, so about past 137, let's say.
Oh, shoot, let's just go 2 p.m. this afternoon. I mean, once I saw the Lumaga win, I was like, uh-oh. So
this has implications.
Yeah, this is a pretty big race. I can avoid a tiebreaker. Initially, that's kind of what we were looking at. There was a pretty good scenario where there are 3 people that could be 4 and 2. But that's where everybody is pretty balanced in our group too. So where was the 4th sword?
So you got... There was one on Floating Island, one in Dark Cross.
Yeah, I got both of those, and then there was one in VOO.
Yes, on Chess Game.
Yep.
I believe the 4th one's in Desert Palace.
Oh, yep, it was.
Okay. Thanks, Aku.
Yep. And especially just in the grander sense, like, thank you, Akahaish, for tracking for us and keeping us honest and making sure we can just... All Sliver and I have to do is just talk.
Yep, and again, thank you to Ricky of Kokiri for being a busy person this weekend. I saw a bunch of restreams that you were doing, so... And once again, thank you, Sorcerer Finch, for sharing comm booth, keeping me on topic.
No worries, and thank you, Sliver, for co-comming as well. I think this is our first co-comm together. If I think, I don't know.
I believe it is.
All right. All right, and we got some, but yeah, as Ovidius finishes up Gan's Tower. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We'll go ahead and keep it up kind of until Ovidius crosses the finish line. But in the meantime, if you're interested in all sorts of Zelda speedruns between Link to the Past and other Legend of Zelda games, make sure to follow the ZeldaSpeedRuns channel here. There's also Go Mode Podcast, again, for some more Link to the Past Randomizer, speed gaming for Link to the Past Randomizer, especially for both the Challenge Cup and the main tournament, and ALttP Randomizer as well. There's a lot of places to get Link to the Past Randomizer at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of racing going on, and of course, drop our racers to follow. I hang out in Sawyer's chat a lot. He's a very chill, very comfy streamer.
Aw, thanks.
Right, and that is Agatu down, and I apologize if this is the first time you're seeing that. Aghanim was actually Ganon all along. Sorry for spoiling a 32-year-old video game.
Well, in North America, it's only 31 because it didn't come out until November of '91.
That is very true.
Alright, we'll see a little bit of pig smoke in here on Ovidius' side as we end our race for the night.
Yep, does have to be a little cautious now. I think it does have a fairy.
I gave him a little hug there. And that hug, I don't remember how much it does on blue mail. It does a whole lot of damage.
I think it's 4 heart, because I think it's 8 hearts on green mail. Actually, Sawyer, what modes did you get kind of the most? Did you get a particular mode the most often, or?
I got 2 standard boots, 2 MC boss, open hard, and I don't think I got an ambrosia one. Or fad. I know I definitely didn't get fad keys because I was really hoping for that one.
Alright, and let's get our GGs in chat for Ovidius as he crosses the final bridge over to get the Triforce. After slashing a little bit and bashing around.
Absolutely understandable. And that is Ovidius finishing with an official time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 15 seconds. GG. It looks like Ovidius will not be joining us for an interview. Does have to catch some Zeds. But GG to them, and best of luck in the rest of groups.
Indeed, indeed. So you guys pretty much did the interview while we were finishing up with OvidiusNaso. So, any last words before I sign this off?
Not from me.
No. Okay.
Yeah, y'all have a great night, and be well, be safe.
Heck yeah. All right, so I want to thank our runners, Soyhr and OvidiusNaso, and thank our commentators, Sorcerer Finch and Secretly a Sliver, as well as our tracker, Akuhaish. Everyone did a fantastic job. Coming up on ZSR, we are done for the night, but tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we have a Zelda 2 Randomizer Max Randall Tournament match, Grand Finals between Mirai and Jay Coper. And for Challenge Cup, at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have a match between Slowpoke and Tree Sap Thief. Game 2 in Group U. And yeah, that's going to do it for us for now. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you had a fantastic time, and have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye!